Hi, today I want to do a sort of a palette review. I got the Kat Von D's Pastel Goth palette. This is the Pastel Goth eyeshadow palette. This is what the outside box looks like. It's really cool. It's very sleek and you get 8 eyeshadows. They're all matte. And this is what the inside palette looks like. It's very sleek. It kind of reminds me of their other cardboard packaging eyeshadow palettes, but I am using a different webcam today. I'm switching out a different webcam, so this one has more of a soft focusing type of a filter thing, I think, because compared to the other one that I usually use, this definitely gives me a little bit more of a flawless type of filter effect. But without rambling even further, because I always like to do that. So I'm just gonna do some finger swatches of all the eyeshadows from this palette. It's very sleek. I like this. It doesn't take up a lot of space and it's beautiful. The I mean, you gotta appreciate like Kat Von D's work, because she is a tattoo artist and she's been a tattoo artist like since she was like was it 14? I think she started out like so young, so she has like years of experience and her style is like really great. And I like how she always put that into her makeup line, because that's just who she is. So I really appreciate that. And it's kind of interesting how, if you think about it, like, okay, you always think about Kat as like this goth rock and roll rock chick type of deal, and then you wouldn't associate like pastel colors with that. But she came out with Pastel Goth, and I think it kind of works, and it's cool because it came out at the right time, because spring is coming, and for the new year, something a little bit different. And then she's definitely thinking about everybody in her line of range, just like, because if you're a makeup brand, if you're a makeup brand, you're supposed to be selling stuff to everyone, right? Because everyone can wear makeup, like, everyone can wear makeup, doesn't matter, like, your age, your gender, whatever, it's like, it's makeup, it's fun, it's kind of like you go to like art supply stores. They got like all kinds of colors, all kinds of finishes and everything, because everybody buys art supplies. So it's kind of the same thing, everybody can buy makeup, everybody can wear makeup. So I think it's really cool that she came out with something a little bit different, because in the past you see she does stuff that's like very like vampy or very like dark, and it's like very like matte or maybe like super metallic, or like just like electrifying colors and stuff, kind of like Urban Decay. But this is really refreshing. I think it's really refreshing. And then Natasha is doing her a palette for a week this week, using this particular palette. So I'll link her YouTube channel down below, and then you can check out her work. I really love her. So the first shade is Star. I don't have any base. I'm trying to do this before I'm losing light, because I know that I'm rambling so much and I should do this in a separate video. Pastel colors are pretty much like a toned down version of a color, a shade. So let's say if you have a it's basically just like a softer color. That's pretty much what pastel is, like a watered down, toned down, softer version of an actual shade, an actual color. So I know I've heard people saying that this is not very pastel. I don't know what they mean by that. So, because if you put this side by side next to any other colorful eyeshadow palettes or eyeshadows in generals, these are like the toned down version of them, like the softer version. So for example, this is a yellow, but if you swatch a yellow from Sugar Pills, right, that yellow is like poppin', but this is soft. This is very soft. So that's what pastel is. Anyways, the next shade is Clementine. And these are quite soft. I'm surprised, because I really didn't like the Serpentina palette, especially the purple in that palette is like a matte, so I'm like so worried about this palette might be the same, because that purple was like really dry and has no pigmentations whatsoever. And the palette itself, I wanted to like it, but I ended up like returning it. I know I did a review and a makeup tutorial on it, but I just had to return it because I'm like, no, I can't really work with this palette. But these shadows are soft. I assume that the shadow and light eyeshadow palette from Kat Von D that now is in a plastic packaging that you can refill. It's refillable now. I assume that these mats are kind of like those mats. So if that's the same as that, then I think I am gonna pick up the light and shadow and light eyeshadow palette from Kat Von D, because I don't have a solid one or matte neutral eyeshadow palette to this date. I know, shameful, right? Anyway, this is Clementine. It's so pretty. It's like a pastel peachy shade. I really want to name my daughter like Clementine if I ever get pregnant. We're trying. I don't know. We've been trying for like the past like half year or so. I'm not getting pregnant. Everything's fine with me though. I don't know. I just don't know. But we really want kids right now. So we'll see. Maybe when we move. Maybe right now it's not the best place, the best environment to have a baby because we don't have enough room. And it's realistically speaking, I think we don't have the environment to have a baby. So I think that God planned everything. You know, I'm just gonna like let Jesus take the wheel. It's really pretty. I know a lot of YouTube gurus that review this palette that really like this color because it's so pretty. It's like spring and it's soft. I love the name. Love the name. I remember Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet's Eternal Sunshine of the Endless Mind or Spotless Mind. They changed it. I don't know. Oh, this is Meow. Meow. I have two cats. I can relate. This is awesome purple. I wish the purple from the Serpentina palette it was smooth and nice, buttery soft like this and pigmented like this, because that shade was kind of similar to this, except I think the Serpentina one, that purple is a little bit on the cooler side. This one is definitely more of almost like an orchid, like a pinky purple shade. This is so pretty. I'm loving this now. I feel like putting this all over my eyes. A blue purple. Wow. I'm surprised. These are really pretty nice. They're not patchy at all, and then they don't feel like super dry. Cause like some of matte shades, you can tell like once you put your fingers in it, like when you swatch it, finger swatch it, like you can feel like it's chalky and it's like really hard. You gotta just like scrape off something. But this is dope. Yeah, definitely like a cooler blue toned purple compared to this. Really cool. They're nailing the purples like finally. And I know like matte purples are kind of hard to do, so it's cool that they finally made it work. Do I have enough room for swatch? The next one is called the Booth. Oh, Boom Booth. This is a nice blue. Wow, this is nice. See, this is quite vibrant, I guess. The most intriguing shade from this palette was actually this one, Dagger, and this is a really cool, like, gray color. And so Dagger is like it's like a gray color. I know it's really weird, but I just really like this because I don't think I've seen this type of like gray color. It's like a greenish gray. It looks like a greenish gray actually. It's not like a super gray. Not like a true gray color. It has like a hint of like green in it, which I think will probably tie together well with this Gloom, this shade. Like these two colors would be like an interesting, you know, I'd look. Last shade is called Skull, and this is a pure white because you have to have a pure white, I guess, right? I don't know. It's pretty white. Yeah, white, nice. Everything's like really soft. But I feel like some of the shades are too soft and it became a little bit crumbly, because it's like super soft. But they are really pretty if you can see all the swatches. So these are the shades. The one thing about this webcam is that it autofocuses like crazy. So when you want it to focus on something, it's like focus on something else. So that's the only downside of this one. It does gives me a pretty nice flawless face though. These are really soft, and as for, I guess, pastel shades, these are actually really lovely colors. You would think like the pastel colors would like not showing up on the skin at all, but these actually show up. So it says a lot about the pigmentation, and as well as like how true of a pastel toned down version they are. So it's like they're toned down version of like vibrant colors, but then they didn't sacrifice the pigment like color payoff of these shadows, which I think is quite hard to nail, if you know what I'm saying. So I think it's really cool. I'm loving the texture so far. I think it's horrible right now. I wish I have like a ring light or something, so like I can blow things up a bit, and then you don't have to deal with this lighting changing the background. I'll probably do a separate. I'll do the tutorial now, and then I will come back and let you know my final thoughts on this palette. So, yes, stay tuned and keep on watching. This is the makeup look I came up with. Last night, actually after the swatching part, I decided to play around with these shadows. So I actually did a look, just really simple. I used like 3 shades. I use basically these 3 shades on the end, and I create like a really dramatic winged out look. But the lighting was already changing, and the quality, it just wasn't that great. So I decided to film this on a different day. So today is the second day, and I decided to use some different colors. This is from I believe, yeah, Belgon Cosmetics liquid lipsticks, and this is in the shade Harvest. When I saw this, I thought that this will be a really cool dupe for Lime Crime Squash, but it's totally different because Lime Crime Squash is definitely more of an orangey mustard yellow, and whereas this is definitely a straight up like more yellow toned mustard yellow, and it's a lot paler than these Lime Crime Squash. So I decided to use this, and so that's what's on my lips. The Belgon like liquid lipstick, this is the one that dries down to matte finish. I still like their satin liquid lipsticks much better. These are pretty comfortable. They're not as drying as some of the other liquid lipsticks on the market, but I definitely prefer their satin liquid lipsticks over, to this formula. But comparing this to some of the other liquid to matte lipsticks out there, this is actually one of the more comfortable formulas. But it does accentuate a lot of the lines and textures on the lips. And I don't know, just even when I'm like trying to take a picture, I did put a balm before the lip swatch, so the lip application, but you can still see the lines once it dries down. And it is like 100% transfer proof though, and it's quite comfortable, but it really accentuates all the lines, especially when you wear like a really pale light shades like this. But anyways, I basically just used Skull, the white color, all over my eyelid as well as underneath my eyes first, just to set my whole entire eye as a base color all over base shadow. And then I use a blending brush because I want all the colors to be like really blow out and blended, versus like just being very like precisely placed on certain area. So I use Clementine first, and then I literally, like you can see from the tutorial part, I was just using the big fluffy blending brush to apply Clementine like all over the inner 1/3 of my eyelids. And then I use the same brush went into Meow, which is the pinky lavender shade, and I place that color in the middle and then swirl and blend into Clementine. And then I use the same brush. So the third shade I use is Dope, which is a more of a cooler tone, like blue toned purple color, and I place that mostly on the outer 1/3 of the eye. Just use a pencil brush and then dipped into Boom, which is that brighter blue shade, and I just put it kind of like swipe it kind of across the lower lash line, and then I blend it out with a clean blending brush. And for my inner waterline, lower waterline, I just went in with like a nude eyeliner. It has like a slight shimmer to it, but you can just use like a beige or white or anything that's kind of like soft, maybe even like a rose gold or whatever that can kind of keeps the eyes open and fresh and awake. And then apply very lightly of one coat of like mascara on top and lower lashes. Use Clementine first, this really pretty like soft peachy shade. I just applied it mostly on the the front portion of my cheek area, just in this area in the front. I almost did like kind of like, I guess what they call draping techniques. So I used Clementine in the front portion of the cheek area, and then I went into Meow with the same brush, which is this pinky light lavender color. I went into Meow and I applied this toward the back of the cheek area towards the hairline, so it kind of ties in with the look on the eyes. I feel like if it's limited edition, I might just get a backup of this palette, just because that I don't really see any other palettes on the market that's like this. So I might get a backup palette if this is limited edition, because I really like it and I just love how compact this is. I feel like two of these palettes equals out to like one palette that I have, because this is quite sleek and small. But yeah, I really like this palette and I think it's really nice, and really like the blendability of these shadows, and I just can't believe how smooth they are for the fact that they are all matte, and then they still show up when you use them. Doesn't matter how soft these are supposed to be. And I didn't really experience any fallout, which is great. I feel like I didn't really tap off the brush at all when I was using these shadows, and even with a big fluffy brush, I feel like I'm not really experiencing much fallout. And I just think they look really great on the eyes, as well as as blush colors if you're bold enough to wear them as blush color. But I can definitely see like people using Clementine and Meow as blush colors, because they are really pretty on the cheeks as well. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this first impression review swatch demo video and tutorial video. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.